Loyalty may seem priceless, but a new lender will take the traditionally intangible as collateral. San Diego-based ZipCap is testing loyalty loans. A business recruits an inner circle of customers. Those customers pledge their loyalty to the business and commit to spending. They don't just prepay, they pledge to spend a certain amount of money over a certain period of time. ZipCap tracks those commitments as a way of measuring future revenue. Once a company reaches a required level of pledges, it can borrow against it. ZipCap says it aims to empower small local businesses with community and financial support. In the meeting, the team discussed how startups like ZipCap could take a bite out of the business of banks.
I'm looking at all these different ways of loaning money, particularly to smaller enterprises, and the banks don't seem to be involved in any of it.
I'd say in their defense, which is a strange position for me to be in,
but defend the banks?
In their defense, they don't really have much of an incentive to sort of change the way they do things, since the way they do things works.
It's not as if banks aren't creative in their other products, though.
Right.
It's just that this...
In a good way or a bad way?
Well, in a way that could pay off in a bigger way. So this is smaller loans that, you know, the interest charge on this was extremely low.
We're talking about sort of smaller enterprises at the moment, but I don't see any reason why that couldn't scale up greatly to very large loans, and all of a sudden you've got sort of the PayPals and this and crowdfunding really threatening the role of banks in society.
Well, there are big changes underway in Canada, too, when it comes to financial lending, and it is disrupting traditional methods. Bret Conkin is founder and CEO of CrowdFundSuite. Great to have you with us.
Nice to be here.
So what do you make of the pace of change? We were just talking about how the biggest lenders have been slow to adapt and kind of address the smaller parts of the market, the harder to meet parts. Are they being disrupted at a quick pace or a slow one?
Well, the impact is growing dramatically. You had $16.2 billion in crowdfunding that took place in 2014. So the big banks are starting to notice, but their ability to change quickly is very limited.
So in the case of, now they're all like slightly different models. Obviously this loyalty model is different than some others that we have seen happen here and in the US. Right. But is it a part of the market that was simply not being served? In other words, loans that are too small for traditional lenders to care too much about?
Yeah, if you look at the lending experience for small business today, it's cumbersome, it's time consuming, it's largely offline, and in many cases they can't get the financing that they need, so they're turning to high interest credit cards. So from the bank's perspective, they can't make a lot of money on these small loans because of their overhead. So enter the online lenders and the crowdfunders. They have low overhead, they've got big data, and they're able to use good design, sophisticated algorithms, and data analytics to create a better customer experience, manage their risk, and enable a lot more funding.
On a relative basis, Canada has been slow to pick up some of these things. Is that a cultural thing? Are we more risk averse, or is that just am I tarring us all with a brush that's not fair?
Well, I think there's tons of innovation in terms of the startup community coming out of Canada, and that's a great thing. In terms of adopting new laws and regulations to support that environment, we're definitely slow. And from a consumer adoption standpoint, we typically are introducing things after the US or the UK or other markets have seen them. So for sure it's a bit of Canadian culture.
Is there a concern here that that the standards will be lower and therefore the kind of bad loan rate higher? Will people get burned through this kind of lending practice?
Well, if you look at it from the standpoint of the online lenders like FundThrough, they're sourcing money from sophisticated investors. They're actually using receivables that they have full visibility on, so their ability to manage the risk for those investors is quite high. The investors are spreading the risk across multiple loans in small amounts. The people that borrow the money themselves shouldn't really have to worry about risk. It's in a case of receivable financing, they just have to manage their cash flow, because if they're getting the funding ahead of time, they've just got to make sure that their cash flow is increasing over time.
Do you have a sense of what the default rate is like with this type of lending? Is it much lower? Is it more like a community lending kind of mentality?
Yeah, it's a lot lower than people first thought. The U.S. again is far ahead of this. We've seen two major IPOs, one on the consumer lending side with Lending Club, another one with On Deck, which is also available now in Canada for businesses, and the response to it was phenomenal. And it really is this use of big data that allows them to create algorithms that actually get smarter as they have more data to analyze. So they're actually reducing the loan default rates, and that's why institutional investors have been so excited about this space.
So do you see this just complementing the existing loan infrastructure that's out there, or could this actually one day kind of be a real threat to the bigger banks?
It's definitely going to be disruptive. You've had the CEO of RBC talk about this tech disruption and their willingness to partner with startups.
Yeah.
The CEO of TD Bank noted that these small startups have competitive advantage because they're small and nimble. And the CEO of JP Morgan Chase put it, Silicon Valley is coming. So they're noticing it will be transformational.
All right, Bret, great to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
Bret Conkin is CEO of CrowdFundSuite.